money making or what are the as you go around the yatra, I think a lot is challenged, right? So Akshay Patra, I don't think they have money making as the ultimate design. Lots of Gunj, money making is probably not the design, not the ultimate, etc. etc. Um, Interesting question. Apple computers, is money making the ultimate design?
Yeah.
Ultimate, ultimate goal? Okay, see, no and yes, right? And that company is probably the most capitalistic, really high valued company, and still we are struggling to answer whether they are really working just for money or something else, right? You know that, okay, not an Apple fanboy here, but there was a claim where they said all the aluminum they are using is recycled, right? Which makes it costlier, right? Which makes the products costlier, etc. So, in terms of the process over here, and the process over here, there is a huge contradiction. But I think the resolution here is that all this gachpach thing, all the chaos over here is built of a lot of small structures, right? And they may come one after another, but it's you build a structure on daily basis and then you break the structure. So when you zoom out and look at something, it looks like this. But when you really zoom into this, it looks something like this. And I think if this is the journey of your life as an entrepreneur, as a change maker, you are somewhere in one of these dots that is making this line, and you are probably going through this thing. So this is how I try to make sense of Yatra. Okay. This could be a result, right, of the design process, and this could be a result of the design process. So it's all your own personal definitions and designs. Do not let anyone tell you what entrepreneurship is. That's the key message. Even if you are at Yatra to learn what entrepreneurship is, please do not let anyone tell you what it is. Okay, it's your own thing, and no one can really challenge your thing. Is Al Qaeda entrepreneurship? I'll leave you with that. Okay. So coming into more of a design thinking process, and I'll draw this bathroom example again and again, right? And I'll make it a little bit more storytelling for you. So the way I look at solving a problem, and this is just one of the tools of design thinking. Essentially, what design thinking is, see, my definition again very simple. There were people who were managers, right? They were concerned with spreadsheets, budgets, all that stuff. And then there were designers who were always complaining that, hey, these business guys don't understand us. Happens to us, right? Some of us must have happened. Yeah. And the business guy, a designer is just going on his own path, no concern about where the money is going. We have to pay salaries, which that allowed both these parties to come together and kind of create a collaborative environment. I think that is a good, it's not some magic, it's a protocol. It's like how a browser talks to a server, right? So how business people and very creative design people can come together and probably create a kind of a collaborative area to them. So what I begin with is what is, right? Now let's dive into it. So let's say when we were beginning to build these bathrooms, right, in the train. Now the bathrooms have changed, by the way. The earlier design used to be slightly different. Maybe the design principle is the same, but the material and all that stuff was different in the trains. You all have seen the bathrooms at least, right, even if not used it. And it's a choice, by the way. It's okay to not use it also. Is the first question that definitely I ask when I try to. And by the way, so I'm the product head of a company called Avanti Finance Private Limited. It's funded by Mr. Tata and Nandan Nilekani. Inflation at population scale in the country, especially in rural areas and the 150, 200 million most needy households. So my daily job involves going through something like this. The first question we say what works. Typically we start there, right? And then is about holding back your horses. And I may be biased, but I've seen in the tech side, right? People who come from technology backgrounds or maths, they seem to be very deterministic about their answers, right? The engineer will say, "Main kar dega, tu bet. I'll write a module, ho jayega subah tak." right? But the problem is that he has not considered all the different edge cases, all the things, right? So I think the more time you spend over here in the what is, right, is going to be like that mommy entrepreneur, right? Where you're investing a lot of time into diving into it, and at this point of time, it feels like, why am I wasting my time? Or why is that team wasting their time? But this is one of the most important places where you're trying to just gather without any judgment. That suspension of judgment. तो क्या होता है कि सॉरी भूल ही गया था हिंदी कितने लोग नहीं समझते हैं how many people don't understand Hindi at all okay and how many people don't understand English at all जो English बिल्कुल समझते नहीं हैं और मैं southern languages बोल नहीं पाता हूँ तो I think okay so I'll try and delve into Hindi as much as I can हिंदी में बीच में बात करने की कोशिश करेंगे तो पहला जो स्टेज है ना वो ये है कि हम जिस प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करने वाले हैं व्हाट इज उस वातावरण का उस पूरे माहौल के उस दुनिया का सीन क्या है राइट वहां पे चल क्या रहा है सो वी स्पेंड लॉट ऑफ टाइम ओवर देयर और उसके बाद की जो स्टेज आती है जिसको हम लोग टिपिकली डिजाइन स्टेज बोलते हैं वो है व्हाट इफ ओके व्हाट इफ का यहां पर यू जस्ट फॉरगेट अबाउट ऑल द कंस्ट्रेंट्स पैसा कम है टाइम कम है अभी तक इंडिया से यूएस जाने के लिए रॉकेट नहीं बना है जिसमें 3 घंटे में पहुंच जाओगे नन ऑफ कंस्ट्रेंट्स कुछ भी ऐसा कंस्ट्रेंट के बिना जब आप व्हाट इफ करना सोचते हो तो आइडियाज निकलने शुरू होते हैं राइट कि और क्या हो सकता है और क्या हो सकता है और क्या हो सकता है एंड दिस इज और इस स्टेज पे जितने नॉन एक्सपर्ट हो ना आप या हाउ मच नॉन एक्सपर्टीज माइंडसेट यू कैन हैव उतना बेहतर होता है तो फॉर इंस्टेंस राइटर आई यूज्ड टू राइट सॉन्ग्स so in that there used to be these lines to name that right how many options do you think we wrote down before even thinking about converging तो कितना ऑप्शन हम लोगों ने लिखा होगा एक नए प्रोडक्ट का नाम लिखने के लिए टेक अ गेस 100 in one day 100 so we aspired for about 300 and we were able to do about 250 and then came this really nice thing I wish I could draw here but hota kya hai when you start getting these ideas na the first 200 ideas will be bullshit and you will be so excited about them but you will not realize that they are bullshit unless you have gone down to that valley where you are getting no ideas तो पहले बहुत आइडिया आएगा और सब बकवास आइडिया आएगा ठीक है और लास्ट में एक ऐसा टाइम आएगा जब आइडिया आना खत्म हो जाएगा फिर चाय पियोगे जाकर के क्या ठीक है कुछ नहीं हो रहा उसके बाद जो 20 आइडियाज आएंगे ना मुश्किल से या 10-5 वहां कुछ बात बनेगा सो द way to have a good idea is to have a lot of bad ideas in fact design thinkers जो लोग होते हैं जो डिजाइन थिंकिंग को ये करते हैं कई दफे वो लोग उल्टी एक्सरसाइज भी करते हैं ऐसे बहुत सारे टूल्स हैं कि इस प्रॉब्लम का सबसे घटिया सॉल्यूशन क्या हो सकता है जैसे जागृति यात्रा में आप लोग को कोहेशन बढ़ाने के लिए ऐसा कर सकते हैं कि हम 3000 बैलगाड़ी इकट्ठी करें राइट और उसका भैंस का जो गोबर रहेगा उसको सुखा के उससे ही खाना बनाएंगे क्योंकि एलपीजी यूज होने से पोल्यूशन होता है right so you will get a bullock cart get everyone on 1000 bullock carts and we will chak and yatra because we have very little time in yatra so सब चीज ठीक से नहीं हो पाता है let's make yatra 97 days why 97 because in 1997 India completed 50 years of freedom it's a really bad idea right but if you have 10 such ideas your minds are just going to blow over and you will actually think कि क्या एक दिन ऐसा हो सकता है when we have bullock carts और you will segue into thinking कि bullock cart वाली लाइफ होती क्या है ये जो बहुत बड़ा population which is getting transport only on bullock carts what can we do to improve their lives right so you never know the mind of a designer can go anywhere nothing is a bad idea the only real bad idea is to think your first idea is a good idea trust me it's not it is not just write it down somewhere you have to have at least 200 different ideas, ways of solving. And then when you reach that lull, right, where you're not getting it, then comes the ideas. So if you have not experienced that lull, what if I had a robot who makes chai for me, right? What if इतना खर्चा लग जाएगा, स्टेज 1 में हम ये करेंगे, वर्जन 0 में हम ये करेंगे, वर्जन 2 में हम ये करेंगे, वर्जन 3 में we'll do this, right? So I'm saying as designers, as much time as you spend in this what is, what if and what was, right? Your what works will be much better. Because it's just a filter, and the bigger your basket works. This is the part where I do this exercise of typically creating just a very simple icons up top, right? So as designers, you cannot just stay in that realm. The question, the message I'm saying, I'm delivering today is both of these of mission entrepreneurial journey, right? Brainstorming, right? I'm really rushing through this, but there are many ways of brainstorming. How many of you have gone into brainstorming and come out without a result? एक brainstorming session में गए और कुछ निकला नहीं. और problems क्या आती हैं?
Too many cooks spoil the broth.
Okay. So this is called imposter syndrome. I don't deserve to be in this room, right? It happens. Normal, yes. Completely normal. What other problems? And again, when people researched and designers thought about it, they came up with, the first problem is that we don't even know what the problem is. I don't know who said it, but if you write down a problem properly, half of it is solved, right? Somebody big said that. So the solution is to don't invite people to think outside the box, right? So this slide I'll leave with you. The second is the usual suspects say the usual things. So if you're really trying to create a new way of design thinking, don't call me. You know why? Because I'm the usual suspect. I'll say the usual thing. Right? You probably need people who don't know. So when I got hired as the product manager for Avanti, my boss is Lalitesh. He was the first employee of Google and known to be the inventor of Google Maps for India. He's the reason why Android is so cheap, etc., etc. So great tech guy. And I told him in my first interview that, hey, I don't know anything about finance, but I know my compound interest formula. Other than that, I don't know much. And he's like, awesome. Right? So he didn't want the usual suspects. The other problem is the most problematic area where we think the other guy is crap. Okay? There's no crap. That is what the previous slide where we said what if. What if means suspension of all judgments. All judgments. Okay? You have to repeat this with me. Suspension of judgment. That is very difficult to achieve, but that is the key thing. When you are in that state, you are in that state. And in brain, the idea. And again, at an organization level, a manager has figured out next quarter ka goal kya hai, next quarter ka what is the timeline and roadmap, and then comes a brainstorming guy who says all this is up for discussion. The whole organization, right from the manager to the CEO, is blowing up in flames, saying you are creating work for us that we cannot do, which is also true, right? So how do you go back to a brainstorming session that works for everyone, right? First of all, there should be a need for financial. There should really be a need for that brainstorming session, right? Similarly, design thinking is